Hi, my name is Angie. I am a family nurse practitioner student, and I'm going to be performing a neurological exam on you today. So first, I'm going to start by observing for any involuntary muscle twitching or movements, observing Trina's eye contact, her affect, and her mental status, seeing if, is she alert, is she lethargic, and then oriented to her time, person, place, situation. Moving on to cranial nerves, I'm going to start with cranial nerve 1, which is the olfactory nerve. I would have you block a nair and distinguish what scent. Try and tell me what you're smelling. I'm doing that with each nair. For the olfactory. For cranial nerve 2, that's the optic nerve. I would test her visual acuity by having her look at the Snellen chart, and then for peripheral visual fields, I'm going to have you let me know when you can see my fingers. Yep. Yep. And last time. Yep. Good. Okay. So cranial nerve 2 is intact. Cranial nerves 3, 4, and 6. The oculomotor is cranial nerve 3. Cranial nerve 4 is trochlear, and cranial nerve 6 is the abducens. And I am testing for extraocular movements, making sure that there's no nystagmus and that her extraocular movements are intact with all cardinal gazes. Cranial nerve number 5 is the trigeminal. I'm going to have you clench your jaw and feeling for jaw muscle strength here, and that it's equal on both sides. Go ahead and close your eyes. Good. This one actually for cranial nerve 3, don't let me lift your eyelids. That's just eyelid elevation, testing to make sure that is intact. Going back to the trigeminal, cranial nerve 5, let me know if you can feel my touch on both sides. Yeah. Good. Okay. Cranial nerve number 7 is the facial nerve. I'm going to have you raise your eyebrows, smile, and puff out your cheeks, making sure that all movements are symmetrical there. Cranial nerve number 8 is the vestibulocochlear, and I want to see if the patient's hearing is intact on both sides. Let me know, can you hear my fingers? Good. Cranial nerve number 9 is the glossopharyngeal. Go ahead and open. Say ah, ah. And with that, I am making sure that the uvula rises and is midline. Then I'm going to have the patient, for cranial nerve number 10, I'm going to have the patient swallow. Good. And that is testing, that's her vagus nerve, making sure that her swallowing function is intact. Cranial nerve number 11 is the spinal accessory. Go ahead and rotate your head to side. Good. And shrug your shoulders against my hands here. Testing that's the 11th cranial nerve, spinal accessory nerve, and that is intact. Number 12 is the hypoglossal. Go ahead and stick your tongue out, and that should be midline, and then testing tongue strength on both sides. Push against my hand, and here. Very good. Okay, that is going through all of the cranial nerves, making sure that those are intact and movements are symmetrical. Now I'm going to move on to muscle strength, upper and lower. Go ahead and bring your head push against my hand, and here, and push up on my hands with your shoulders. Go ahead and bring your arms out in front of you. Don't let me push you down, and then don't let me push them up. Bend at the elbows for me, pull me towards you, push against me, and squeeze my fingers. Good. Equal on both sides. Go ahead and uncross your legs for me. Push against my hand with your leg. And here, push out, and then out again. And then push down on my hands and pull up. Yeah, good. Okay. All right. I'm going to have you stand up for me. Good. All right, I'm going to have you walk across the room, normal gait. And here I'm just assessing Trina's balance and her gait, making sure that her gait is steady and balance is intact. Go ahead and walk on your toes towards me. Good, and then back the other way on your heels. And then in a straight line with your heels to toes, tandem, walk towards me. Good. Okay, now if you face me, go ahead and close your eyes. I'm going to assess the for Romberg, and I just want to make sure that her balance is intact. She doesn't fall over when I'm pushing. Good. Balance is intact. And bring your arms out, palms to the ceiling. Close your eyes, and I'm checking for any hemiparesis, looking for any pronator drift with that. Good. Go ahead and sit down. Okay. Next, I'm going to assess for arm ataxia and coordination. Bringing your arms out on either side of you. Go ahead and close your eyes and bring your pointer finger to your nose on each arm. Good. And next, moving on to coordination, go ahead and do this on your lap as fast as you can. Good. And then before we move on, go ahead and bring your heel and drag it down your shin. And then same thing again. Good. There we're looking at her movement is smooth and there's no jagged movements when she does that. Okay. Next, I'm going to go ahead and have you discriminate between soft and sharp touch. Go ahead and, keep your eyes closed for me and just let me know if the object is sharp or soft.
Sharp. Soft. Sharp. Soft. Sharp. 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 Soft. Soft.
Good, okay. And I would do that on all areas to make sure that the patient can distinguish between the two. Next, I'm going to have the patient on a bony prominence. If this was, I would use a tuning fork, strike the fork, and placing it on a bony prominence, keeping my hand under her finger, I'd have the patient tell me when she stopped feeling the vibration, and we should stop feeling that at around the same time. And that'll just check for any type of neuropathies that the patient may have. I'm going to go ahead and have you close your eyes, and using your thumb, let me know which way I'm moving your thumb. Is it up, down, or neutral?
Down. Up. Neutral.
Good. Okay. Next, I'm going to move on to stereognosis. Grab an object, have the patient go ahead and close your eyes. Holding your hand out, I want you to just identify what that object is that I gave you.
A coin.
Good. Okay. All right. Next, we're going to move on to two-point discrimination. Hold your arm out here. Close your eyes for me. And let me know when my two fingers become, when you can no longer discriminate, you know when it's just 1 point.
1.
And then I would do the same on her left side of her body. All right, now I'm going to move on to her reflexes, deep tendon reflexes. Go ahead and bring your arm out and keeping your arm relaxed. This is I'm checking her brachioradialis, and I should see a slight movement in her thumb. Then in biceps, go ahead and bend your arm, but keep your arm relaxed. Good. And then I'm going to check your tricep, deep tendon reflex. Relax your arm. Good. Okay. Moving on to the patellar reflex. And then lastly, her Achilles. Go ahead and relax your foot. Okay, and I would do that on both sides of the body to make sure that they're equal. Next, I'm going to check her plantar or Babinski reflex, and her toes should fan out. Lastly, I'm checking for clonus, and I'm going to have you just relax your leg and your foot, and I'm just going to briskly bring your foot up. There should be no like pulsing or stuttering of that movement. Okay, now I'm going to have you lay down for me. Here I'm going to assess for any sort of meningeal irritation. I'm going to start with nuchal rigidity, bringing the patient's neck up to her chest and asking, do you have any pain there? Following up if the patient has any pain or stiffness in the neck with that. Then I'm going to perform the Kernigs. I'm going to bring the patient's leg up and bend at the knee 90 degrees. Pushing down on the knee and extending, I'm going to see if the patient has any pain in her lower back or up the spine with that. And then lastly, I am going to test for Brudzinski's sign. I'm going to bring the patient's under her head. I'm going to bring her head up. And then if she were to bring her legs up to her chest or kind of flex in, that would be a positive Brudzinski sign indicating possible meningeal irritation. That is about it. That's it for the neurological assessment. Thank you.